Last episode, we talked about what an income producing property actually is and the different ways a property can potentially generate income. So, today, let's start with the one most people already understand traditional rental income. But here's the question I want to answer. Just because you're collecting rent every month, does that automatically mean your property is producing income? Not necessarily. So let's go back to our California investor example. We've had clients come from California looking at Las Vegas because they wanted to own an investment property here. So imagine you're looking at a property for around 400,000 and you do your research and you believe you could potentially rent it for around 2,400 a month. Immediately it's tempting to think, great, I'm going to make 2,400 every month, but that's not really how we should look at it. That 2,400 is your gross rental income. From there, we still need to think about your mortgage, your taxes, insurance, HOA, property management, maintenance, repairs, and potential vacancies. And the list goes on. And that's where I want investors to start changing the way they think. Don't ask me, Jenny, how much can I rent this out for? Ask me, after everything is paid, what could this property actually produce? That's a much better investment or an investor question. And here's another thing that especially is important if you are investing from California. Who's managing the property? Are you going to manage it yourself from another state, or are you going to hire a professional property manager? If you're hiring management, that's where another expense we need to consider. But it may also make the investment much easier for you to own from a distance. So sometimes the question isn't simply, how do I maximize every dollar? It's what structure makes this investment manageable for my life. And this is where we start using the PIER position. Are we buying somewhere people actually want to rent? For infrastructure, what's around the property that's supporting rental demand? Entry strategy. Are we buying at a price and financing structure that makes sense based on the potential income? And lastly, regulation and risk. Are there HOA restrictions? What happens during vacancy? What happens when someone or something breaks? And what's our plan B? Because here's something I really want people to understand about PIER. We're not trying to predict a perfect investment. We're trying to understand the investment well enough to make a better decision. And cash flow isn't necessarily the only reason someone might buy a rental property. Maybe your monthly income is modest, but you're planning to hold the property long term. Maybe part of your strategy is potential appreciation. Maybe you're thinking about the tenant helping offset ownership costs while you build equity over time. So different investors have different objectives. That's why I don't believe that there's one best investment property in Las Vegas. There's a property that either fits or doesn't fit your strategy. So here's what I want you to remember from this episode. Rent is not the strategy, is understanding what comes in, what goes out, what risks you're taking, and why you want to own the property in the first place. And in the next episode, we're going to move beyond a traditional rental because there are properties where you may encounter professional management programs, lease back, projected income, revenue sharing arrangements, and even programs marketed using terms like guaranteed rental income. And those are very different things. In the next episode, I'm going to show you how to tell the difference. And remember, it is always great to know what you're getting yourself into before getting into it. So I'm Jenny. This is PIER Investor. Don't just buy the property, understand the strategy behind it.